The sun cracked open the edge of the sky like a bleeding yawn, orange and gentle over Lincoln Park. A breeze shuffled through the trees, tickling the loose newspaper pages piled in the corner of the bench where Ray slept. He didn't stir at first. Not until the soft, familiar weight pressed against his chest gave a sleepy mewl. Ray blinked awake. "Hey, buddy," he said hoarsely, voice rusted from the cold night. The black and white cat stirred and looked up at him with tired, blinking eyes, one green, one gold. Half a tail flicked lazily. "Milo." Ray smiled and scratched behind Milo's ear, where the fur was thinned from a long-healed scar. Milo leaned in, purring low and warm like a heartbeat. They had slept like this for years now. The park was home, or as close to it as Ray had anymore. It had been 7 years since Ray found the tiny, shivering kitten under a dumpster behind the old Chinese place on Belmont. Barely alive, eyes sealed shut, fur matted and wet from the rain. Ray had nothing then. No home, no job, just a coat too thin for Chicago nights and a stomach that hadn't known full in weeks. Still, he gave what he had. He wrapped the kitten in his only shirt, tucked him against his chest, and walked 5 blocks in the rain just to get warm water from a 24-hour diner bathroom. He named him Milo that night, and ever since, no matter how little Ray had, a bite of sandwich, a crust of bread, a half can of beans, Milo had always eaten first. They were family. Ray sat up slowly, careful not to disturb him. The grass was still wet with dew, and the air carried that early autumn bite. Not quite cold, but a warning of what was to come. From his beat-up backpack, Ray pulled out a small napkin-wrapped bundle. A few scraps from a gas station sandwich he'd saved the night before. He peeled off the crust, broke it into little bits, and set it out on the park bench beside him. Milo patted over, sniffed it, and ate delicately. "Feast of Kings, huh?" Ray said softly. Milo looked up at him, crumbs on his whiskers, and gave a contented chirp. Ray leaned back, watching the city stir awake. Joggers passed. A bus hissed to a stop in the distance. People in suits, earbuds, coffee cups. The world moved fast around him, like a stream he'd long stepped out of. But here, with Milo, it was still and warm. Started like any other afternoon. The bench was their usual spot, beneath a leaning tree with golden leaves just beginning to fall. Ray was sketching on the back of an old receipt, pencil dancing quietly as he drew Milo curled up like a cinnamon roll. A woman's voice cut through the moment. "Oh my God," she said, loud and sharp. "That poor cat." Ray looked up. 3 people stood there, mid-20s maybe, bright athletic wear, perfect skin, laughter still clinging to their lips. Tourists, or yuppies, or whatever the new word was for people who didn't understand that not everyone had walls and a door. The woman crouched slightly. "Come here, baby," she cooed to Milo. Milo didn't move. He never liked strangers. "He's okay," Ray said, calm but firm. "He's with me." The man beside her stepped closer, frowning. "He's filthy," he said. "Jesus, man, you shouldn't have a pet if you can't take care of it." Ray stood. "He's not a pet. He's family." The second woman, tall and blonde, gave a tight smile. "That's not love. That's neglect." Ray stepped in front of the bench as they moved forward. "Don't," he said. "Please, don't touch him." But it happened fast. The man shoved Ray back with a hand to the chest. The blonde lunged, grabbing Milo roughly. Milo screamed, a terrible, wounded sound. He clawed and kicked, trying to escape, but they shoved him into a soft carrier bag like it was nothing. Ray roared, lunged, tried to grab the bag. Passerby shouted. Someone called security, but it didn't matter. They walked off. Ray screamed after them, his throat raw with it. "That's my cat. That's my cat. Please, please." But they were gone. Ray didn't sleep that night. He wandered the streets, checking corners, dumpsters, alleyways, shelters. He asked every person he passed, clutching a torn photo he'd drawn of Milo weeks ago. His voice broke with every repetition. Have you seen a black and white cat? Half a tail? Green and gold eyes. Most people ignored him. Some looked away. A few muttered, "Get a job." But one or two listened. An old man outside a liquor store gave him a nod. Saw one in a little bag, near the museum, he said. Looked scared. Ray ran. Every step was pain. His shoes had holes. His stomach ached. But it didn't matter. He needed Milo. By morning, he'd circled the park 3 times, his voice gone hoarse. He sat on the bench, the empty spot beside him louder than any scream. He buried his face in his hands and wept like a child. The bag smelled like sugar and chemicals and fake flowers. Milo huddled in the corner, shaking, claws out but unable to find anything to dig into. Every jolt sent his heart racing. The noise of traffic was too close, too fast. Where was Ray? His last memory of Ray was warm hands and soft humming. And then ripped away, hands that didn't smell like home. Loud voices, a scent like nail polish. They had taken him. Now the cage was dark, then bright, then dark again. A door opened. Voices. He needs a vet check. He's not chipped. Poor thing, so skinny. Hands again. Gloves. A needle. Milo yowled. Bit. Kicked. But there was no Ray here to calm him. To whisper in that deep, slow voice that made the world quiet. He didn't eat that night. He curled into a corner of the cage, shaking, and waited. The coffee shop on Halstead didn't let people like Ray stay inside. But the girl behind the counter, maybe early 20s, noticed his shaking hands as he pressed the glass. Looking in, she brought him a cup of hot water in a paper cup, no questions asked. "Thank you," he murmured. She hesitated. "Are you okay?" Ray opened his mouth to say yes, but it came out as a sob. He reached into his pocket and pulled out the folded drawing. The lines were smudged from rain and fingers, but Milo's eyes still stared out, green and gold. "They took my cat." He told her everything. She didn't interrupt, just listened, and then quietly took out her phone and snapped a picture of the drawing. "I'm posting this," she said. "You need help." Ray nodded. He didn't know what else to do. He had no phone, no address, but he had hope. The cage was quiet, but not silent. Whispers, the echo of water dripping, distant meows from others. Scared, confused, lonely. The humans came and went with soft voices, but none were Ray's. Milo didn't eat. The food smelled wrong. The blanket didn't smell like backpack lint and pencil lead and old socks. It didn't smell like home. He watched the door constantly. If Ray walked in, Milo would know instantly. He dreamed of him at night. Ray's heartbeat, the scratch of his beard against fur, the way he whistled low and off-key when he thought no one was listening. After 2 days, the cage door opened. A different hand reached in. The voice was soft. "Come on, kitty. Let's get you into foster care." Milo darted. He didn't know what foster meant, but he knew this wasn't home. He sprinted past the hand, through the open door, down the hall, and under a shelf in the back closet. And there he stayed, refusing to move. It was the next evening when someone ran up to him in the park. "You're the guy with the cat, right?" Ray blinked. "Yes. They're looking for you online," the man said, pulling out his phone. "It's everywhere. Twitter, Instagram. That barista posted your story. It's gone viral, man. People are putting up posters." Ray leaned over the phone. There it was, the photo of his drawing, the caption. "This man lost his cat after some people took it, thinking he couldn't care for it. He's been searching ever since." His name is Ray. The cat's name is Milo. Help us get them back together. Thousands of shares, comments, donations. Ray's knees buckled. Someone caught him. He hadn't been seen in years. Not really, but now people were looking. The foster home was quiet, too clean, too big. The woman there meant well. She put out treats, left windows open for sun. But Milo paced constantly. At night he sat by the door waiting. He escaped on day 4. A gap in the screen, a jump to the shed, then down the alley. It was risky, dangerous, but Milo had crossed worse. Busy streets, storm drains, raccoons. He had Ray's scent memorized. Even in the chaos of the city, something in him whispered, "Go back." He stayed low, slept in shadows, searched for food in familiar places, the park, the alleys near the gas station, behind the diner where Ray once found a muffin. And every scent trail brought him closer. People started joining him. First it was that barista, her name was Ella. She brought more flyers. Then a woman from the animal shelter came by. Then 2 college students who ran a local lost pet Instagram. They called him Mr. Ray. They brought him coffee, socks, printouts of cat sightings. There was a cat near Fulton, one said. Might have been him. Ray went. Every time. He limped when his shoes gave out. Slept under bridges. Ate nothing some nights. But he searched. Because every time he heard a cat cry, something in him sparked. Hope, memory, love. A GoFundMe had passed $5,000 now. He still slept outside. He refused hotels. Not until he's with me again, he told them. It had been over a week. Milo was thinner now, but smarter too. He'd avoided dogs, cold nights, shouting men. And now he was back near Lincoln Park. He knew it. The scent of the tree where Ray sketched. The bench. The sound of pigeons exactly as they'd been. He climbed the bench. No one was there. He curled up anyway, tucking himself into a tight ball, ears twitching with every step of a stranger. Waiting. Just waiting. And then, a whistle. Low. Off key. Milo's head shot up. Pair of boots stepped close. Worn. Familiar. The scent hit him like a wave. Pencil lead, coffee, old socks. Ray. It wasn't dramatic. It was quiet. Ray walked toward the bench like he had 1,000 mornings before. Something small moved atop it. At first, he didn't dare believe. Milo, he whispered. The cat stood, eyes wide. One green, one gold. Then a cry, a leap, into his arms. Ray sank to his knees, shaking, laughing, sobbing. He buried his face in Milo's fur as Milo climbed his chest, purring so loud it hurt. I found you, Ray whispered. I found you. I never stopped. People around them started clapping. Someone filmed it. The video caught the moment. Man on his knees, cradling a small, scarred cat. The city behind them glowing with gold light. It went viral. Again. The shelter offered him a part-time job cleaning, feeding animals, helping others like him. An old hotel owner offered him a room for as long as you need. The GoFundMe hit $12,000. People sent blankets, cat toys, and letters. But none of that mattered as much as the sound of Milo curled beside him again, snoring softly in his sleep. Ray lay in bed, a real bed, hand on Milo's back. He didn't have everything, but he had enough. The nights are warm now. The food smells like fish again. Ray hums when he brushes Milo's fur. The walls don't matter. The collar doesn't matter. Only this, Ray is home. and Milo found him again,